how to read any NCRT book for UPSC, in fact any book for UPSC for that matter. Here I'm going to discuss the geography book of class 11th NCRT. First of all, never start from the chapter itself. First go through the table of content properly. Read the table of content, what are the various units that are covered, what are the chapters covered. So you will get an overall context or idea about why you are studying this particular subject and what are the main topics you will be covering. So in geography, once I read TOC, I get an idea. I'll be studying about the earth and its landforms, the climate on earth, the water, the oceans, the life, the interiors, the landforms, minerals and rocks, composition of that, etc. After that, you can even Google that and try to get an idea, overall idea. Spend at least 10-15 minutes on that, and after that, once you start the chapter, don't start from the beginning of the chapter like this. Always go at the back and first look at the exercises of the chapter, and then after that actually start your chapter studying. Then also you can go ahead and look at the subheadings and headings within the chapter first and try to get an overall context, what are the various things you will be covering in that chapter, and then you can start with the chapter. So this overall skimming and looking at the back of the exercises will really help you to have a better recalling, remembering, and later on you will even be more equipped to be able to handle any kind of questions that UPSC is throwing at you. Because without knowing the actual questions that are coming in the exam, why should you study the chapter unnecessarily? Of course, for knowledge purpose, it's always good, but this way your massive study that you have to do for UPSC, so many books, so many sources that you have to cover, it will become much more efficient and much easier. That another thing that I used to do is, I used to always Google a few concepts that I was not able to understand from the book. So let's say there is this particular subtopic on star formation. If I'm not able to study and understand a particular concept that is given here, I would go ahead and actually look up Google and try to understand it through any kind of nice YouTube video, which is given in a very simple way and which is given on a very reliable, someone who's reliable, someone who presents information in good way, for example, the Khan Academy. So I will look at that. I will also not focus on small facts. For example, here the diameter of the galaxies has been given 80,000 to 150,000 light year. So this kind of details are not required to be studied. UPSC will never ask you this. You should focus on the big picture, the big ideas that are given in the book. That okay, we are talking about Big Bang theory. That is very important. That is one of the main theories that is out there about the origin of the universe. Then how did the planets get formed? Don't get lost in the details. So for example, here the table of this distance of various planets is given, and their density, their radius, etc. has also been given. What is the point of remembering or trying to even understand this? You should just broadly know which planet is located where. That much is enough. Even that is not required for UPSC because such basic information UPSC doesn't focus on. So these kind of small things like astronomical unions, here there is some data about IAU's decision about Pluto, So this kind of, maybe you should know why it was taken out from the list of the planets, but you don't need to really know the exact scientific words for that, because that is not going to come in UPSC, because UPSC is largely a generalist kind of exam. So these kind of tables are really useless as far as this data is concerned. You should broadly have an idea that what kind of periods were there, and even if you don't remember them, it is not going to make a huge difference in your UPSC preparation. Alright. The second thing is always look back at UPSC papers, old UPSC papers, and try to figure out which topics UPSC asks maximum questions from. UPSC has not really asked any questions from this origin of the earth and the evolution of life on the earth chapter for the longest time I can remember. So what is the point of you trying to waste too much time on this? You should read it, understand it, try to remember important things, but move on to chapters which have often been asked by UPSC. For example, UPSC is often asked about the movement of various plates on the earth's surface. The distribution of oceans is very important because UPSC has asked so many times about the Ring of Fire, Circum-Pacific Belt. This is one of the most important topics of UPSC. So you should definitely study and get to know this. So try to figure out what are the important topics, study them again and again, and try to have a good hold and good fundamental understanding of those topics. Okay, that is more important. So this is how I would study any book, especially NCRT's book, so you will get a better idea.